Hey guys, welcome back. I feel like it's been a minute, right? I just got back from the gym. I have some things on my mind I just want to chat with you guys about. And, I love to use you as my dear diary and just want to update you guys on a few things. Um, I wrote down a few notes. Maybe I could hopefully do this without editing so I could just get it out. I feel like I say that all the time and it's always like a complete disaster. But I just want to say hello. First, before we jump into everything, I just want to give a little update on my book. So today is Monday, September 30th, I think. And I'm going to release this podcast tomorrow, October 1st, which is pub day for my book. So if you have not grabbed or if you haven't ordered your copy yet, it's been available for pre order, grab it now because now it comes out and you can get it on Amazon, Barnes and Noble, Target, Walmart, all online, Indie Bound as well. Or if you're overseas, Blackwell's I know has it. Amazon still does too. And you would just maybe also check out like your independent bookstores. And yeah, so it's super exciting. I feel a lot of mixed emotions. I mean, I'm excited, but I'm freaking nervous. Like I'm putting out there, recipes that some people may not like. And I am very sensitive to reviews. So if you don't like it, don't let me know. But yeah, it's going to be a very exciting day. So let's get into it. Okay. I'm really trying hard on not saying okay, so, or and likes. I do a lot of likes and I try and edit them out, but we're just going to flow with this one. I was listening to a podcast probably a couple weeks ago, and I forget who I was even listening to, but it was another influencer slash vlogger. And she was talking about how she was watching somebody else talk about how all these like day in the life vlogs or just anything that's, someone sharing their life is very narcissistic and coming from like a place of ego. And I can see that because, and I make these videos too where it's like it's all about us. We're like sharing a day in our life, but on the other hand, like that's the kind of content that I watch. I watch day in the life vlogs. I watch people clean their freaking house and don't clean mine, So I think part of it is we just like to be a fly on the wall. Like there's a reason why reality TV is so successful. So when I do stuff like this, or even like this update, like here's what's going on in my life, it feels very egotistical. But I also think of it as a way, like I'm just having a conversation with friends. There's a handful of friends, okay, not a handful. There's two, three, yeah, there's like three friends that I message with on a daily basis, and I dump things on them and they're dumping things on me. So it's what I want to hear. Like, I want to hear what's going on in my friend's life. So, that being said, let me know in the comments what's going on in your life. What are your goals? So, that's kind of where I'm at right now. I've been listening to random podcasts and literally about like what's going on in people's lives and like basic like I was listening to a day in the life podcast, so I'm not even watching a vlog, I'm listening to it. So all that to say, I don't even know what I'm saying, but I think it's just fun to chat and not always have this be like here's X, Y, and Z for carnivore. And like, I want to talk about other things than just carnivore, like obviously that's a huge part of my life, but always creating content on 5 things you can do to lose weight, like it just gets a little old. So let me know if you even like these kinds of topics and I'll stop babbling and just get to the point of this and like my updates. Okay. Reading my notes. So I'm in a place right now where I feel like I'm kind of needing like a reinvention, or I need to like find myself. Like I feel like there's something else I need or want. I think it's because, the book, we're done creating the book. It's going to be out there. And yes, I need to start sharing things and focus on getting the book out there, but I have been out of creative mode for probably like, well, I mean, a while. July was when we were still kind of doing some edits, but we were done for a while before that. So I've had some downtime, where besides creating content for social media, I haven't been actively like doing things. Like I haven't made a new recipe and I've hardly been in the kitchen, trying to even create something different. I've just been in mom mode, which is great. And I still want to do that, but I find myself being ready for like, okay, what's my next project? And maybe something that's not time consuming, something that I don't know. I just feel like I need something else. I need to shake things up. I just feel like I need a different project. I am still going to be working on recipes. The holidays are coming up. I do want to have some holiday recipes for you guys, but I'm trying to think outside the box a little bit. So if you have any ideas, let me know for sure. Um, but it's not going to be, you know, I don't want it to be recipe heavy. I need something else. And I haven't shared this yet. And I was debating if I was going to even talk about it here, but I feel like this is a good place to talk about it because I feel like you guys are the people that really care. If I shared this, it would be tacky to share this on just a reel and be like, hey, I had this opportunity and turned it down. Like that just feels a little yucky. So this feels a little bit more intimate to me, and not everyone can just see it. You're actually like choosing to go into either the YouTube to see it or go into the podcast app. So I feel like I need to catch my breath. I'm just talking like a mile a minute. So, without sounding, I don't even know what the word is. I'll just say it. Okay, so my publishing company, offered me another book deal, and it sounded very exciting, but also very quick. Like, okay, that's soon, but it's very flattering to know that they want to do this again with me. And so I said, yes, let's chat about it. We had a meeting. This has probably been like a month now. We had a meeting. We talked ideas. We talked timeline, which would be the book coming out a year from now, with me turning it in. I think we were saying like June. So that's I got a little bit more time on this one, but it was very quick turnaround for them, like condensing, I think, what took us 9 months into 3. So as I thought about it more, I listened actually to this one podcast. Mari Llewellyn, she has a podcast, Pursuit of Wellness. She had a guest on, I'm forgetting his name, but it was titled something like, Are you addicted to stress and drama, or something like that. And my friend Britt, who's been on here before, she's like, you need to listen to it. And I felt personally attacked in the first few minutes. One of the examples was like, do you overbook yourself and then complain about it? So I was literally in that same morning talking to Britt about how overwhelmed I was at the thought of how I need to figure out how to manage the time for this next book, and how I'm still going to do mom stuff and this and that. And once I listened to it, I'm like, oh my gosh, it really put things into perspective. Like, I feel like writing this book was like childbirth or even pregnancy. It's like so gnarly. And, you have your pregnancy and you're nauseous and you're crying and you're this and you're that. And then you go through labor, which is horrendous. Or, oh, Hazel's trying to break in my room. Um, you had the pregnancy and then the labor and delivery, and then time goes by and you're like, you kind of forget how crazy it was, and you forget about all the downsides because you just see your cute little baby, and then they trick you into thinking, you know what, let's do that again, that was wonderful, let's have a second baby, or let's do book number 2. So I thought I was going to do book number 2 for about a week, and then I listened to that podcast and I'm like, you know what? I can really reflect on how crazy that whole book process was. And in the moment when I was creating the book, I'm like, never again. I'm a one hit wonder. I'm only doing this one. It's great. Like, we'll be done after this. But then you forget about it and you're like, yeah, let's do it again. So I was able to reflect listening to this podcast and remember just how truly, like, how much work it was and how much it affected my family, because I don't handle stress well. So maybe if I was a little bit more like cool, calm, collected, like, yes, I could do the workload, but the stress and the amount of tears I cried. So it was a lot of work and it was worth it. I have no regrets. I'm so glad I did it. it's such a huge accomplishment. It's a bucket list item. Like I'm good, but I think I might just be good with one, and so I let them know, and who turns down a book deal? That's insane. But, to me, it's not just about like the money that it could make. To me, it's about doing something that's perfectly aligned and what's good for my family. And I just didn't want to put that through them through that again. I feel like that makes it sound bad, but I was just stressed and I wasn't, everything else was getting done half-assed. So that being said, I told them that, now is not the right time and I don't know if it ever will be. And so I turned it down and it was left with the conversation can still be on the table when and if I'm ready. So that's amazing. And they understood and all that. So I feel so crazy for saying no, but I feel like you just have to listen to your gut and what feels right? So that's where I am right now, trying to figure out what's next for me that isn't a book of recipes. So I've just kind of been brainstorming and just kind of focusing on finding myself again and working more on self care. My mom actually took me to the spa yesterday in Laguna Beach. We got massages. We laid by the pool. We walked on the beach. I worked out. I did a cold plunge without screaming. Oh my gosh, you guys. And it just reminded me like how much I've been lacking self-care and taking care of myself. Any break I have from my kids, I'm like working, which is still fun and I love, but I haven't forced myself to truly relax. And I didn't go on social media the whole time we were there, which was like pretty much, was that like we were there like 8 or 10 hours. And that doesn't sound like a long time to be off socials, but I'm constantly checking it. I'm either sharing something or I'm checking comments, and because I'm just wanting to stay engaged.
Mommy, yeah, I want to give this to you. And Mommy, I made a bunny for you.
Thank you. Love you.
Do you want to share the bunny?
Yes, I'm sharing the bunny right now. Thank you. So Hazel keeps trying to run in my room. Normally they're good and my mom has them under control, but I feel like now she's at the point where she thinks it's funny that she's trying to escape Gma and come into my room. So any hoodles, I have no idea what I was saying. I think I was talking about the spa. So yeah, it just made me realize just how much I need to force some R&R time on myself and like not work when I'm sitting and relaxing. So that was nice. And another little update on my macros right now. So just to do a backstory, okay, I've lost 45 pounds doing equal fat and protein at 130 grams of each. And then I stalled, so I upped the protein, lowered the fat. So I was around 140, 160 protein, lowered the fat to like 110, 120, lost 10 pounds doing that. Then I called it kind of stalled. Well, I guess it wasn't stalled, but it was just slow. And also I got some labs back and I was having some like glucose and insulin stuff going on. So I thought I would try a higher fat. So right now I am about 150 grams of fat and 100 grams of protein. I'm about 2 weeks in on that, maybe a couple days shy, and I'm feeling good so far. My ketones are going up, my glucose is coming down a little bit. I have lost a couple pounds. It's an adjustment because I'm such a volume eater that now I'm not eating, so much meat. To give an example, it's like a pound of ground beef, a couple eggs, and like 6 tablespoons of butter. Not that that's what I'm eating, but just so you can get a visual. I'm having carnivore bars, carnivore bread, chicken wings, salmon. But just for a visual, that's what I'm doing right now. And I feel very, even though I have stomach fat, I feel thin. Like I guess my stomach is just flattening out. Maybe it's because it doesn't have 2 pounds of meat in it on a daily basis. I feel like, there's so much controversy in the carnivore space if calories matter. And some people can eat so much and still like lose weight. But to me, calories matter. I can't eat, like look at Bella. She eats so much. I would be obese if I ate what she's eating. So you just need to figure out what macros work for you, and calories, at least for me, matter to an extent. Right now, I'm around 1800. I feel like even that is kind of high. It's a very slight deficit. I bet if I cut a little bit, weight loss would be a little bit quicker, but I'm also hungry. So it's hard to cut and be hungry. But then again, weight loss is part, like you're starving your body so it can burn its own fat. So being in weight loss mode is going to be uncomfortable, and you might feel hungry at times. And I think I kind of lost sight of that, get wrapped up into seeing everyone else eating so much and, eating till you're full and this and that. I don't know. Sometimes I feel like you need to be a little hungry. So I'm figuring that out right now. And so far, I'm enjoying it, and I'm just going to give it some more time and see how I do before I make any more changes. So, anyways, that's everything that's going on with me right now. I'd love to hear what's going on with you guys. So, if you're watching on YouTube, let me know in the comments what's going on in your life. What are your goals? What are you working on? If anybody has ideas for me on how I can think outside the box, I actually, under my bed somewhere here, I have the book The Artist's Way, and I started it years ago. That's kind of supposed to help get your creative juices flowing. So I might need to dust that off. It felt really good to do. They have like morning pages where you do, I think it was like 3 pages or a certain time, I can't remember, but you just like brain dump everything, and that was like super helpful. I actually was doing that before I found Carnivore, so maybe it did work. It helped open my mind and to be able to find this. So if you're just listening on your podcast app, then come say hi on Instagram. I'd love to have feedback from you guys on if this is totally horrible and boring. Just let me know. If it is, I'll just save it for my friends that I, text message on a daily basis. Yeah, so I'll see you guys next time.